Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on the Movies. Today we are going to rank the 4 seasons of Dark Winds. And
all of them are in last place.
No.
Just kidding.
And just for an FYI, Season 1 had the fewest episodes. It had 6. Season 2 had 7. And Season 3 and 4 have 8.
Yes.
So, I just wanted to make that clear. So anyway, I guess what we can do is begin by the low, from low to high, and there's only 4 seasons, so
far.
And there will be another season. Season 5 is already, in fact, I think they're working on it right now.
I just thought this video would be good to do after we finish Season 4, because 4 seasons is a decent amount, and even with the old Daredevil show, there were only 3 seasons of that show, and that's something that you would rank. So anyways, number 4 in last place is unsurprisingly Dark Winds Season 3, which as soon as we saw the season, we just all the other seasons, that they have their strengths and, their weaknesses, but this is the one season where there's really not very many good things about it, What do you think, Safi?
No.
What?
It's just really negative. There's a lot of negative things, a lot of Manuelita has left, and
yeah, she left town for the border patrol.
And
Stupid story.
I didn't even forget either that when she was the whole office where she was working, she wanted to move up, and that's why she went down there. I mean, and you hear about we're hearing it all the time, and it wasn't surprising. The border patrol is kind of misogynistic, plus the fact that the office where she is working is involved in a drug smuggling operation. So they're all corrupt.
Yeah.
So she was never going to move up or do anything. She was the only one who was working for law and order. And also when she would investigate, take pictures, or because she suspected something on her own. And plus the fact that her name was brought up.
Yeah. And her picture was on a tack board.
Right, and where drug people were working.
But when she was spying, she was literally right out in the open, and she would even go there with her stupid boyfriend, and they would spy together, and they'd just stand right out in the open. And I think another issue is the fact that they had to have this stupid love triangle thing. I thought that was really strange and bizarre. And it was very unnecessary. I would just say in general, before Safi comes back in, my big issue with the season is that I feel like it is completely 100% unnecessary. I feel like this was still early in the show. It's season 3. And if they're going to do a season like this where she's more of the main character, they should have waited until season 7 or season 8 if they get that far, because that would reflect more of I understand now, because maybe Joe would retire, or it would just be a lot more understandable than in season 3 they break off and she's the main character, because she's not even really that popular of a character. With Better Call Saul, before they made the show all about Kim, she was a very popular character, and people were obsessed with her, and that's why they made her the focus of the show. With Emanuelita, I'm sure she has 1 or 2 fans.
Well, she's probably more popular now, but you're still.
But her
it's
character,
still a young. Yeah, that's right.
The character,
and even in the books, she doesn't appear for several books.
Yeah,
and she really starts getting more of a voice. Although she's in there when the father, Tony Hillerman, writes the book. She is in there in the end, but not a lot. But then when his daughter takes over, because she's female, she kind of has more. She gives more of a female voice. She's in the books a lot, but of course you have the whole thing. It's more evolved, and these shows where they just sped it up like that. That's why it doesn't really make sense.
It's kind of weird too, because like the people who make the show, they should be focused on Joe and Jim, and instead it's like, why were they so obsessed with speeding it up to where in the third season of the show it's all about Emanuelita? And another thing too, this is kind of something that was really Safi's fault. She told me the season was about human trafficking, and it just turned out to be all about drugs, and it was kind of anticlimactic to me because human trafficking is a bigger deal than drugs, and it would be a lot scarier to deal with. And I feel like the whole drugs thing, it's like, who cares about drugs anymore?
Well, that's been like the whole impetus of our immigration policy and bringing in the kill, bombing boats and all that stuff.
Safi,
But I mean,
I don't
drugs
care.
is very important, okay?
Well, I don't care
because
about
of
drugs.
fentanyl.
I don't care.
Yeah, I know, but anyway,
Drugs
it
are drugs.
just that whole story.
You could overdose on vitamins.
Marco, that's really naive.
Well, oh, really?
Fentanyl has been a very big problem, but a lot of that comes from China.
Safi, you could overdose.
We could go into that.
You
but
could overdose on gummy vitamins. You could overdose on sugar. You could overdose on caffeine. You could overdose on energy
alcohol.
drinks. You could overdose on your mom. You know, and all sorts of things.
The thing is that elevation of Emanuelita and her going down in this impossible situation. I mean, she didn't even speak Spanish.
Yeah.
And this was down.
Oh yeah, I remember
This was
that.
down towards the border, and I looked it up. I mean, just for a reality check, and they do want people to be able to speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Who work for the Border Patrol, and yeah, she spoke Navajo. And this is important, but that's not the Navajo reservation. This is all about people coming in from the south of the border, which we have heard forever and ever. But anyway,
I'd say the funny thing is that the best part of the season was probably the mystery with Joe and Jim, where they ended up finding out it was this archaeologist and they chased him onto a train. I thought that was probably the only good thing about the whole season, but then there's other bad things too.
The other bad thing was another woman.
Two women. First the FBI agent. There's this FBI agent who comes in, and the entire season she's trying to investigate B.J. Vines' death, and she's trying to pin it on Joe.
Which he did leave him in the desert. But the thing is...
But he didn't really kill him, though, technically, so...
Well, it would probably be, what do you call it? I'll have to think about it. But anyway, the thing is, she just kept hanging around, and she was such a biatch. And I just didn't like her character at all. And she would make these little innuendo threats. And I realize in the books, even I've been reading some, this week I started reading ones I'd never read by Ann Hillerman, the continuation of the series. And, FBI agents notoriously have been jerks. And they haven't cared about the Navajo culture or any other culture. They don't even want to be there. They consider it a, quote, hardship post.
Well, and I think what's funny is, one of the things that they never answered in the season of why was that agent so obsessed with getting Joe.
And she was very obsessed, and that doesn't happen.
She treated him like a criminal, and if I, came face to face with her, I would just say, why don't you put that energy into getting the people on the Epstein list? Because, that's a lot more important than, what Joe did, to this evil rich guy who deserved it. You know, I mean, he deserved what he got. It was just very strange. They never answered why she was there, like why she stayed there for so long, and she's so. I mean, that was like 50% or more of the season was
because she was
Joe
there.
versus her.
She was there almost every week. Every episode.
They even had that weird dream episode, which didn't age well, where we find out that Joe was molested as a kid
In one of those schools where they tried to make Navajo children and other Native American children go to these, quote, Indian schools.
and
And they couldn't speak their language, and they tried to turn them into white people.
there was also a really weird scene where Joe is dancing with the FBI agent. I don't know if Safi remembers that, but
and she was
they're
all dressed
dancing.
up. Yeah, I remember that.
That was so weird. It was all so weird,
And
so strange.
It never happened. Never had anything to do with anything. He didn't. He wasn't molested by some woman dressed up in a evening gown.
No, it was the priest. It was.
I know who it was, but I mean, that being part of that.
It was
It's
representing like his subconscious. Ow! My cat jumped on the couch and he thinks I'm dangling my hand in front of him like a toy. But it's a part of his subconscious. He's oh my god, he got me again. Oh my
He
god.
wants you to quit standing there. He doesn't realize you're doing a video.
Hi Bernie. He made a little noise there. But he's just trying to wrestle with himself. Like I guess he's trying to have the talk with her without really talking to her, and it doesn't work because they're not telepathically communicating. So I know that we spent a long time on that dream episode, but it was a really weird episode, really weird season, and the cherry on top of the shit sundae would be what, Safi? Emma?
Well, Emma decides to leave town
Yeah.
because after the FBI agent finally gets her to talk to her and tell what happened.
Yeah.
And because she's supposed to give him an alibi, and I guess she still continued to give him an alibi because I think she didn't like the FBI agent's attitude. But then she got mad at Joe, and she decided she said in so many words like, you disgraced our family. I know you left that guy in the desert. and she left town. Manuelita came back and she left.
Yeah, Emanuelita comes back and Emma leaves town, which was just a giant FU to the fans. It was a giant FU to the character, and I really didn't like that because, say what you will about these seasons, but one of the things that's definitive is that they always follow up on the things that happen in the finale. They don't really forget about things in the finale. So in this case, in season 4, they do not forget about Emma leaving town and being a bitch to Joe. So that we'll get there when we get there. So Safi, go ahead.
Okay, well, number 3, because remember there's 4 seasons, is season 1. Now I brought out the fact that season 1 is a new show, and perhaps they were only allowed 6 episodes.
Probably.
And so it just is not good for any show, no matter what, to give it only 6 episodes. And it wasn't enough.
It's like a long movie.
And I think that was a drawback.
A big drawback.
But there were some good things about it that I liked. And that was, another bad thing about it, too, was she was an undercover FBI agent.
Yeah.
Playing a rookie deputy officer under Leaphorn and working with Manuelita. Well, he he lied to both of them, and that never happened. And the whole thing was about this radical group called the Buffalo Society, and there was a mining accident, and Lee Porn's son had been killed in the accident, and they were investigating it because it looked like it was set up, the mining accident. It wasn't something that happened because the mine was bad. It was because it was set up to be bad. The accident was set up, and in fact, there was some kind of thing where people were warned not to go there, and it was just. But then Joe's son was there, and he got killed, and then another guy, I can't remember his name, he got killed too. So they were investigating that. So anyway, it just. Marco can say more about.
Yeah, because you're having allergy issues.
I'm having allergy issues, but anyway.
Which is really funny because Safi insisted on doing this review on the couch, probably because my room has bad allergies in it, and she thought that being in here probably would not cause the allergies. So anyways, I would say first, I think that the season had good villains. They got Victor from Breaking Bad to be one of the bad guys. I thought he was good. He played kind of like a two-faced character where he was like really good but then really evil. You know, I think he was the evil priest, and then
there was a woman threatening Bernie too, and
they had a witch.
Or the witch.
The Taco Bell witch.
I really loved the witch part.
The Taco Bell witch was a good character. They didn't really use her enough. And there was a cool fight between her and Emanuelita. And I thought Emanuelita was the best in season 1. Except for her acting. I thought her acting was bad. And she scowled
all the time.
All the time.
I have never seen anybody scowl so much. She has a great scowl.
But other than that, she was the best that she's ever been in season 1. Because she actually had some cool moments like that. And that it wasn't like, I'm leaving town and, you know, getting in a love triangle. And then I would also say, I think that season 1 feels the closest to the books. I think that because it's so simple and it has so few episodes, they didn't really have very much room to drift away from the books very much. And I think they also used the area more. I think they used the reservation more for the story. Because I think something that's equally as important as everything else in the show is just the area itself and the people and the culture. And they used that in season 1. Now, my biggest issue with season 1, besides the fact that it's rushed and no TV show should be 6 episodes, the biggest issue is Joe Sleephorn himself, because he is probably the worst character I've ever seen in a movie or TV show. The worst main character, because his character is so boring. He's so dull, and he's so low energy, and he really doesn't feel like he's the main character. And it's not until like seasons 2 and 4 that he ever wakes up. You know, he always is this very low energy character, and it was so weird after he was in Fargo and he was like a killing machine, that you go to Dark Winds and he's just like, okay, Emma, can I have a cup of coffee now?
Yeah, they love their coffee.
That's the character in Dark Winds, and I think his character, that would be, if I had to give the writer's notes in season 1, my biggest note would just be fix Joe's character, because he's not a good character in the show in season 1.
And in the books, everybody knows. I mean, they call him legendary. You don't become legendary by being inert.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's part of a show, is that you have a main character and they have to do cool things. They have to lead the story. They have to be involved with everything. That's something that Daredevil struggles with too, though. Daredevil, he's not even main character of his own show. And that's a problem. But I still would say season 1 was pretty good. I mean, I would watch season 1 again.
Yeah, if not for the witch part, which I really loved.
Yeah, Safi's
and also
obsessed.
the scenery.
She likes the Taco Bell witch.
The beautiful scenery, which in the books, that's incorporated very bigly into the stories, and how, I mean, you go there, and they were really good about, Tony Hillerman was so good on capturing the weather, the climate, and the scenery, and everything. He was able to capture the whole life out there. And that's, I think, because it took people who have never been there and they're never going to go there, it took them to the place. And they could feel like they were part of the story, that they could feel it, that being there, what it was like.
I think they should make a season based off a Fly on the Wall.
No, Marco, that's the worst. That was Tony Ellerman's worst. I mean, really, I read it, and it was terrible. I hated it.
Well, anyways, number 2... Is there anything else you want to mention? Number 2 is season 4, which we will say it came very close to being number 1. Very close, but the big issue is that the bad things about the season outweighed the good things. Now, the good things would be, even though it's nothing like the book, as I quote Safi,
no,
it's a very good season. It's a very entertaining season. I think there's good action, there's good characters. I really like the villain, this German Terminator woman who's obsessed with Joe. She brushes her teeth with his toothbrush and things like that. And then I also loved some of the side characters that they introduced, like Billy. I thought she was a great side character. And what was that guy? Sonny?
Yeah, Sonny.
Sonny was the best part of the entire season, but unfortunately he got the Charlie Kirk treatment and he can't come back. Even though I thought it would be really nice for him to come back, the Sonny, that is. It would be really nice to see Sonny become part of the police department or something on the reservation. I think that would have been cool, because he started off as kind of a villainous character, but he was basically just a villain by circumstance, and so it would have been cool to see him change and to see him become part of the community.
He was a veteran too.
Yeah.
Here we go on about veterans, and I'm not going to go into all that, but still, I mean, there was just so many good things about him. Marco and I both liked him a lot.
He was great. He was the best character in the whole season. And also, I will say, I like the fact that at the end of the season, we basically got to see all the characters on the reservation come together for a ceremony with Jim. I thought that was great.
This is what really would happen. They kind of had to they could not show the ceremony. We're not allowed. You and I, nobody's allowed to see a secret, and it's because it's it's very sacred to them, and we just can't see it. And then and that's okay. But they have a big party, and everybody brings food, and they wait until it's over, and they all party together. And that was great. But then another good thing about this season was the fact they had a cliffhanger. Gordo got killed. And that was a good thing that he got killed, but the fact that they had a cliffhanger that leads us into the next season, and this affects Joe's retirement. He decides not to retire because that was his best friend.
Yeah, now one of the issues with the season is that at the beginning, after Emanuelita left town in season 3 and she's at the border patrol, Joe thinks that a good idea would be to ask her if she would like to be the new sheriff, which is so stupid and dumb, because in the books it's Jim that takes over. And there's this whole story, this subplot where Joe and Emanuelita treat Jim like he's a child because they say something about he can't take over because he's too spiritual, which literally is not the character at all in the show. And there's
Not
nothing.
in the show.
There's nothing like that on the show.
Nope.
And so it's such bad writing because it doesn't make sense. It's not right for the character in the show and the story right now. And then they proceed to show the opposite because he is the one, like, most of the season driving the case and accomplishing things.
He's working undercover.
And still, they treat it just like he's a child who doesn't know what he's talking about. And Emanuelita, she's obviously the one who should take over. And then at the end, thankfully, though, Joe does not retire, which, thank God. I mean, that would not have been good at all.
Yeah. So, but anyway, it was very, they've learned how to do the show pretty much, and it's very, the episodes are very concise and full of action and meaningful, and it's a lot smoother and well put together.
Yeah.
It's just this Emma story. LA is my home now. I mean, give me a break.
Yeah,
okay?
Emma is also content on staying in California for no reason at all, and she treats Joe like shit, and it's this modernized feminist storytelling where men and women can't be together. They have to be separate so that they can succeed. And so Emma's in California now, deal with it. And it's like, no, it's fucking stupid. It's the worst part of the season, and it's so bad. That's the reason why this is at number 2 and not number 1. In fact, I almost wish I could put it lower. Because that whole story, that whole subplot about Emma not wanting to live with Joe and be in California, that is the worst thing about the entire series. Because it is so antithetical to the characters and the culture and the people. And it just feels like modernized agenda storytelling for the sake of it.
And this is in the 70s, too.
Yeah.
This isn't now. And I don't know, maybe she would leave now. I don't know. I don't think so. But because of their culture, I just don't believe it. And besides that, in the books, she dies. She gets a brain tumor. So,
yeah, I just wish they'd just have her be at home and she makes Joe's coffee. And, like, there's really nothing.
And works at the medical clinic. She plays a very valuable role.
There's really nothing wrong with that, you know.
And that I just can't believe it.
Yeah.
It just drives me nuts.
Yeah.
And but anyway, I love the story with the German lady. And I mean they really laid it all out behind her. But actually, the guy who hires her, the one who kind of like the whole thing revolves around.
He was a weak villain.
He was hardly on the screen at all.
He was like a cameo. In fact.
Yeah, pretty much. Except maybe that last episode, he had a little bit more airtime, while Joe stuck it to him and said, "You're in big trouble."
Yeah, and also another great thing was that Joe felt like he was the main character in a couple of the episodes, and he actually was a good character in some moments of the season.
Yeah.
So pretty much this is like the most well balanced season since the other good season that we'll talk about. So.
Okay, well, number 1 is
Season 2. And now this was I argued for Season 2 because I think looking back, it has the most good things versus the bad things. There are some bad things about it, like Emanuelita leaves town. There's that story about the girl who had the baby and she left the baby and left town. Then there's the story about the reporter woman Mary
Mary Langdon.
Who they ruined. I mean, that's not the character from the books, apparently.
She's a teacher in the books.
And she leaves town, too. So they have 3 women leave town. Like, that's some sort of a reoccurring theme on the show, is like women leaving town. Which is, it's kind of sexist, actually, because it's, in a way, because it's almost like, what are you saying? Like, that women are not, like, mature enough to stay on the reservation, like they all leave because they're so superficial, they have to be somewhere else.
Mary Langdon is from Wisconsin, so that isn't her. She didn't want to stay there.
Yeah.
She wanted Chi to marry her, but no, they don't talk about this on the show. But in the books, she wants Jim Chi to marry her and go back, and he can be an FBI agent or something, and was in Wisconsin or whatever, and in other words, live the quote Belagana, which is what white people are to Navajo, and she wanted him to live the quote Belagana life. And in the books too, I don't know if they talk about this in the show. He had a cat who was a stray, and he had adopted it, and they had a little, he kept it safe from the coyotes that would go through a little door in his trailer. And anyway, it ends up, I guess in the books, he gave the cat to Mary and let Mary take it home so it wouldn't have to struggle so much living, because he wouldn't be there. He had to work on cases. And, there were coyotes. And anyway.
Now season 2, season 2 is great because they started off and they tease a machine gun battle or a machine gun scene, and I thought that was a great idea to hook the audience in. It didn't really work as well in season 3, but I thought it worked very well in season 2. And also there was an episode where it's basically just Joe chasing the bad guy, and the bad guy this season, I think he's really, really scary. He's very villainous. He's very cold, and he's almost like a villain that you would see on like Breaking Bad, because he was bombing people, and he almost tried to kill a kid, didn't he? Put like a bomb in a teddy bear or something.
Yeah.
And so he was a great villain. And I loved when Joe chased after him. And Joe this season, I think, one of the great things about it is that the writers heard our criticisms. And Joe woke up. Joe became that character he was on Fargo. And he went a little overboard. He was like, okay, well, you want me to wake up? Like, okay, I'm going to start killing everyone and torturing people. And and it was pretty dark. But it was also kind of cool because it felt like, okay, like this is the right direction at least. Like you can pull back a little bit, but this is the right direction. And then at the end, of course, he kills the other bad guy who killed his son, BJ Vines. I thought all of that was really good because it was like they closed off that story really well. They closed it off and they did it in a good way. And it was just a good season overall. I think that it was balanced and it had the right amount of action and mystery. I would say another issue, though, would be we didn't really know very much about the bad guy.
We knew that he was very bad. He had killed a lot of people. And like Marco said, and I forgot about that, putting that bomb in that toy.
Yeah.
And almost killing, child almost got killed.
Yeah.
And he didn't get injured or anything. He was okay. But anyway, and the thing is, so he had a terrible reputation. He was really, he was a paid assassin like this German girl. And so, but the only problem I had with it was at the end, he goes walking towards B.J. Vines' house.
Yeah. And
B.J. Vines just, poof, takes him out in 2 seconds. And for somebody who's such a smart, paid killer who's like evil and killed all these people, he so easily killed himself. by VJ Vines that I'm like, what?
It was very anticlimactic.
Very anticlimactic.
But I think what they were trying to do is they were trying to show just how expendable that these people were to this guy, because, you know, BJ Vines, he's this rich bad guy, and he can just hire people to do his dirty work, and then he can kill them or he can get rid of them. And, you know, I thought that I don't know. I think that the good things outweigh the bad. And then there's nothing as bad as the Emma storyline in season 4. So that's really what makes the difference here. Because overall, I mean, I think I enjoy season 4 more than I do season 2. But the Emma storyline is
Really ruining.
Inexcusable. Yeah. Well.
And that's it, everybody.
You
So
sure?
We'll see if you agree with that.
Wow.
Our assessment of the seasons.
Yeah, Bernie, my cat, Bernie has turned away from me, and I stuck my finger in his face, and he licked my finger a couple of times. So I guess he felt bad about treating my hand like a toy and trying to... And Safi watched it the whole time.
It was funny.
Why do you think he did that, Safi?
Because he was taking a bath and settling down. He's going to bed for the night.
Yeah,
I mean, for tonight, it's what? Our time, it's almost 6:30.
Yeah.
And he's ready for bed. But, I mean, he'll get up during the evening a few times, but he's on the couch. He's in his final resting place.
He really thought my hand was a toy, though, you know. He was like, ooh, ooh, and he reached out and clawed me 3 times. So, what do you hope about season 5, Safi?
Well, they're going to have to find Gordo's killer.
Well,
and
what book is it based on, though? Because
None.
that doesn't
None.
happen in the book.
None.
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 Mm-mm.
None.
Mm-mm.
They gotta base it on something.
No, they don't.
At least loosely.
No.
I think it is.
The thing is, in the books, well, it's already happened anyway. Manuelita and Jim have fallen in love. Because
they're
he
together.
he did tell this hooker woman, I can't be with you because I'm in love with somebody and we're having this problem. And the hooker was actually able to give him some good advice. But anyway, and then another thing, you know, Joe will eventually retire. And I don't know if after they solve this mystery of the killing of Gordo, whatever the mystery may be, if he will still retire.
I don't think so.
Or he'll stay on for a little ways longer, which would be good. I mean, I don't know how many seasons they're expecting to be able to do, but, I mean, why not do a few more? So,
why not just keep doing it until they tell you can't anymore?
Yeah.
Like, that's how it used to be. And if you do that, it takes the pressure off of, like, okay, well, we have to end early because, you know, or else it'll get bad. It'll take the pressure off, and it'll just be like, you know, we'll go on for as long as we'll go on. But maybe they should always have, like, an idea of what the finale will be so that they can fall back on that as soon as they get canceled.
They should. But, you know, the series hasn't ended.
Yeah.
You know, she's still writing books.
Yeah.
He's retired. He got shot. In the books, he gets shot in the head.
And
that could happen in this episode.
I will reiterate that I think what they should do is they should go on for as long as they're able to with Joe as the main character, and the series finale should be he retires and Jim takes over and Emanuelita's with him. They work together.
Yeah.
And that would set up a completely new show that would be all centered around Jim and Emanuelita with occasional appearances from Joe.
That's what it is in the book.
That would be a lot better, I think. I think it would be a lot smoother because they could really take their time and make the new show a lot different, and they could make it a lot like more centered around those two characters, and just, I don't know, like I think it would be a lot smoother that way, because otherwise they might try to pull a season 3 again where they try to force those characters in, and then Joe is sidelined on his own show. And I just don't think that would be a good idea. And I would also say the one thing they need to do, without a doubt, is get Emma back in town like in episode 1. You know? Because if they did that, all would be forgiven.
Or in the final episode.
No, just do it in episode 1. Get it over with. Because she shouldn't be out of town. It's stupid. Well, Safi, that's it. So?
I was going to tell everybody what book I was reading, but
I'll
I'll do that another time.
Go ahead, Safi.
Well, I'd have to find it. I
Wasn't
turned
it-
my phone off.
Wasn't it like the rustled water or something? The windy winter, the oily summer. Like,
It's
what
something
was
about
it?
I think it's a bridge.
The scary bridge.
Just a minute.
The whispering bridge.
Why don't you tell them about the Patreon and all that?
Okay, well, please like this video and comment and subscribe. And then, excuse me, if you'd like to support this channel even further, please check out our Patreon page, because that is where you can get access to the exclusive content, spoiler-filled movie reviews that you'll never see on the channel, rankings, and my short film, which Safi says is better than all the seasons of Dark Winds. Right, Safi?
It was real. I went back and watched it, and I watched it in color. Now, if you want to join that, you can watch it in color and black and white.
Yeah, and you can purchase it all by itself, so you don't even have to join Patreon to watch the film. And it's a very speedy watch, obviously, because it's a short film. In fact, it's basically like a TV episode. So, Safi, did you find it?
Now I'm having an internet problem. Let's see if I can get it now.
And another thing too about Jeffrey Epstein is just that is just
Okay, here we go. It is The Sacred Bridge.
Oh, so I was kind of close, you know, the Whispering Bridge.
And then the one I
Yeah.
just read before this one was Stargazer. So
Weird.
they're pretty good, and there are like maybe 4 or 5 books after this.
I was the one who
that
told
I'll be caught
Safi.
up.
I told Safi to read them because I thought, why isn't Safi talking about, you know, like, oh, I read the new book, I read her new book, I read that new book. Like, she never talks about,
'Cause
she
I
only
hadn't-
talks about Tony's books.
I hadn't. Well, I used to buy more books, and now the only book we've bought, I haven't even read it yet, is a Goosebumps book,
Yeah.
and it's brand new. And but I don't buy books anymore. I just read them on this library site, and you know, if it's new, I can usually put it on hold, and then eventually I can start reading it. It didn't work for some reason. It didn't work with this Goosebumps book. Somebody decided to read it, or just hold on to it and not and renew it. I guess, I don't know, but so we just decided it was only a few dollars.
Yeah, they're hogging it.
So I decided I'd just go ahead and I usually get Audible books because, I mean, they're audio books. All right, I haven't joined the Audible site. They're audio books, and it's called Hoopla. It's a library book site, and so I can do all kinds of things while listening to a book. And so I've read so much.
Yeah, like playing with the cat.
Yeah, or brushing him, which I brushed Bernie twice today, because he's shedding like crazy because it's been very warm here. It's been in the low 80s, which is April.
Well,
So anyway, that's it. So I just wanted to tell you what I was reading. The Sacred Bridge by Anne Hillerman.
that's okay. Goodbye,
it.
everybody.
Bye.